Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive. Ever find yourself completely hooked by the idea of a lost chest, brimming with gold, hidden for centuries?
Or maybe a priceless painting vanished into thin air after some incredibly daring heist.
Exactly. What is it about these stories? Hidden fortunes, these audacious thefts, treasures just gone. Why do they grab us like that?
It's powerful, isn't it? You immediately picture things, right?
Totally. Pirate maps, X marks the spot. Or like a super high-tech vault being cracked.
Maybe that classic image of the art thief dangling from a skylight.
Yeah, it's this almost primal thing, an invitation into a world where the rules are different, maybe.
It really is. And it's not new, this fascination. It's woven right into human history, to our stories.
So today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that. Famous heists and unrecovered treasures.
We've pulled together some really fascinating sources for you. We're going to take a journey through history, psychology, tech, cultural myths.
Right. And our goal today is to pull out the really compelling bits. We're going to trace things from like ancient tomb raiders
All the way up to modern digital heists, the invisible stuff.
and try to get at not just the facts, the methods, but the why. Why are we so obsessed?
Why do these stories stick with us? What do they stir up?
Okay, let's unpack this. It's going to be a mix of, solid history and some pretty wild speculation.
Definitely. We'll look at how these tales tap into basic human desires, maybe even fears.
Revealing as much about us as about the criminals, maybe.
Exactly. The ingenuity, the sheer nerve, and sometimes the huge void left behind when something just vanishes.
All right, let's start right at the beginning, because this whole mystery of stolen treasure, it's ancient.
Oh, absolutely. The desire for wealth, whether you get it legally or not so legally, that's been a driving force forever, since societies first started.
Like, you think about ancient Egypt, right? The
Yeah.
tombs.
First thing you think of, tomb raiders. And they were real. As soon as there was valuable stuff buried to people, someone was trying to get it.
So it's this continuous line of ambition, greed, audacity.
Exactly. That drive for gain, for status, sometimes just survival. It's shaped some of history's biggest, most baffling crimes. This need to get stuff, hide it. It's fundamental.
And that desire plus human nerve, wow, it's led to some massive disappearances over time.
Looking at a timeline isn't just dates, it's a story of incredible daring, often against crazy odds, and questions that still hang in the air.
So where should we start on this timeline? Maybe something huge, like the Spanish treasure fleet, 1715.
The 1715 fleet, perfect starting point. This wasn't just a few ships, it was a massive convoy, 11 ships absolutely packed.
With what? Gold? Silver?
Mountains of it.
Yeah.
Gold, silver coins, bars, emeralds, pearls, all the riches from the New World, headed back to Spain.
Wow.
They left Havana, heading for Spain, but then disaster. A massive hurricane hit off Florida. In one night, 10 of the 11 ships sank. Gone. Their treasure scattered all over the ocean floor, like a giant underwater vault.
So how much have they found since then? It's been centuries.
That's the incredible part. Only a fraction, despite using everything from, old diving bells to modern sonar. Just a tiny bit.
How beastly.
The amount still down there is staggering. Hundreds of millions, maybe billions in today's money. It's still this huge magnet for explorers, salvagers, people dreaming.
From a whole fleet sinking, let's zoom in on one guy, Captain William Kidd, the pirate who supposedly buried his treasure.
Captain Kidd, yeah, he's iconic for buried treasure, isn't he? Even though most pirates probably just spent their loot.
Right, booze and gambling?
Exactly. But Kidd's legend is different. He started as a privateer, basically a government-approved pirate.
Huh, didn't know that.
Yeah, hired to attack enemy ships. But then he crossed the line into actual piracy. Got caught, executed.
So where does the buried treasure part come in?
The persistent rumor, the one that really stuck, is that he buried a chunk of his loot, maybe on Gardiner's Island off Long Island, before he was nabbed.
And has anyone found it?
Nope, not definitively. But that story, whether it's totally true or just grew over time, really cemented the whole myth of buried pirate treasure. The X on the map, hiding gold. That image owes a lot to Kidd.
Okay, shifting gears big time now. From pirates to World War II. The Nazi gold train, 1945.
The gold train. That's a potent mix of wartime fact and intense speculation. End of WWII, chaos everywhere.
Right.
And this train, supposedly loaded with gold, jewels, art, looted Nazi treasure, vanishes. Somewhere in Poland, near these complex tunnels in the Ural Mountains.
And we know the Nazis looted incredible amounts of stuff.
Absolutely critical context. This was systematic, state-sponsored theft on a massive scale. from countries, banks, and especially tragically from Jewish families all over Europe.
So is the train real? Did they find it?
Well, official searches, geological surveys, nothing definite yet,
Yeah.
but the rumors just won't die.
Why do you think it persists so strongly?
Because it's not just lost gold. It's the unrecovered spoils of war, a symbol of that horrific looting, and maybe, just maybe, the hope of finding it. It's haunting.
And sticking with WWII looting, there's Yamashita's gold too, right? Supposedly hidden in the Philippines.
Yamashita's gold, yeah. Another massive wartime legend. We're talking potentially billions in today's value.
Billions? From where?
Loot stolen by Japanese forces under General Yamashita from all over Southeast Asia. Gold, gems, artifacts from temples, banks, private collections.
And the story is they hid it.
Rumor is it was hidden in this huge network of tunnels and caves dug across the Philippines as they retreated, using forced labor, tragically.
So it connects wartime atrocities directly to modern treasure hunting.
Exactly. It's not just a historical footnote. People are still actively looking for it, spending fortunes, dedicating lives to the belief it's out there. It's a living legend, maybe even tied into ongoing political stuff.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. We go from these huge historical halls, armies looting, to one guy, one audacious act. D.B. Cooper, 1971.
D.B. Cooper is just unique, a total standout. November 71, this guy calling himself Dan Cooper the DB was a media mistake. Later hijacks a plane, calmly.
What did he want?
Simple demands. $200,000 cashed-specific unmarked 20s and 4 parachutes.
4 parachutes? Weird.
Right, got the money and shoots in Seattle, let the passengers go, kept the crew, then ordered the plane back up. Low altitude, slow speed, gear down. Specific instructions.
And then?
Somewhere over the forests of the Pacific Northwest, at night, in a storm. He lowers the plane's rear stairs, takes the money and jumps. Parachutes out.
Vanish.
Never seen again. The money mostly vanished too. It's the ultimate disappearing act.
Yeah.
Decades of searching, theories, nothing. He went from criminal to folk hero almost.
Wild. Okay, different kind of theft now. Maybe the most famous art heist ever. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, 1990. That one still hurts.
Oh, the Gardner heist. Staggering is the word. March 18, 1990. 2 thieves disguised as Boston cops talked their way in, convinced the guards they were responding to a call. Once inside, they overpowered the guards, tied them up. Okay.
And then they spent 81 minutes. Think about that. Over an hour.
Yeah.
Just taking art off the walls. 13 priceless pieces.
Which ones? I know a Rembrandt was involved.
Rembrandt's only known seascape, Storm on the Sea of Galilee, a Vermeer, the concert, incredibly rare, works by Degas, Manet, even an ancient Chinese beaker.
And the value.
Over $500 million, easily the biggest property theft in history that's still unsolved.
And none of it recovered. Still.
Not a single piece, despite decades of FBI work, endless leads, a huge reward, nothing. The empty frames are still hanging there in the museum. It's just haunting. A huge cultural loss.
Moving into the 2000s now, heists getting more sophisticated, right? Like the Antwerp diamond heist in 2003.
Antwerp, yes. A true masterclass in modern thievery. February 2003.
Yeah.
A team, mostly Italians, led by Leonardo Notarbartolo.
What did they hit?
The vault of the Antwerp Diamond Center. Got away with over $100 million in diamonds, gold, jewels.
Okay, but how? Those places must have insane security. That's what makes it legendary. They left almost no sign of forced entry. They bypassed 10 layers of security.
10? Like what?
Infrared heat detectors, seismic sensors to detect vibrations, Doppler radar for motion, a powerful magnetic field. The works!
So how?
Incredible planning, precision, ingenuity. It wasn't brute force, it was brains. And maybe some inside knowledge. It showed that even with cutting-edge tech, a physical vault could still be cracked. Real Ocean's 11 stuff, but real life.
Beyond these huge headlines, though, there are other weird, lesser-known stories, too, right? Like the Amber Room.
The Amber Room. Oh, that's a legend called the 8th wonder of the world.
What was it exactly?
Not just objects, an entire room, paneled floor to ceiling with intricately carved amber, gold leaf, mirrors, gems, made for Prussian king, gifted to Peter the Great of Russia, ended up in the Catherine Palace.
And then WWII happened.
Exactly. 1941, the Nazis looted it, took it apart, shipped it to Königsberg, Germany, and then it vanished.
Gone. Just like that.
Poof. Its fate is totally unknown. Hidden in bunkers. Destroyed in bombings. Nobody knows. Sparked endless conspiracy theories, international hunts. Still going on. It's not just the value. It's this unique piece of world heritage. Lost.
It's a totally different kind of mystery one. That's just a puzzle. The Beale Ciphers.
Ah, the Beale Ciphers. 3 encrypted messages. supposedly reveal the location of a massive buried treasure, gold, silver, jewels, worth maybe $60 million today.
Who left them?
Story goes, a guy named Thomas Jefferson Beale buried it in Virginia in the early 1800s, left a locked box with these 3 coded messages.
And they're solved.
Only one of the 3.
How?
Partially. Using the Declaration of Independence as a key.
Seriously?
Yeah. That solved part hints at what the treasure is, but gives 0 clues about where it is.
And the other 2?
Unsolved. For over 200 years, generations of code breakers have tried and failed, which makes you wonder.
What kind of person makes a puzzle like that? Was it real or just a massive, elaborate hoax?
Exactly. Was he a genius leaving a challenge? Or a trickster, creating an enigma just for the sake of it? The mystery itself is the treasure, maybe.
Okay, so we've got this incredible list of stolen stuff, daring escapes, lost fortunes, which brings us to the core question, right? Why are we so fascinated by all this? The stolen, the hidden. What's the pull?
That really is the heart of it, isn't it? And the answer seems to be deep in our psychology and how our societies work.
Like on a basic level.
Well, think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that pyramid of human motivation.
Sure. Food, safety, belonging, esteem.
Exactly. After basic survival, we need security. Then belonging, esteem, reaching our potential. Now think about finding a massive treasure.
Instant security, right? No more money worries.
Totally. It
Yeah.
taps right into that fundamental need. But it's
Yeah.
more than that. It's also about prestige, recognition, maybe even power.
The shortcut to the top.
Kind of. The fantasy of finding, say, the Spanish Fleet's gold isn't just about being rich. It's about this instant transformation, fulfilling those higher needs, security, status, all at once. It's a powerful dream.
So it's tapping into really deep human drives. And that's not just for us, the audience, right? What about the people actually doing the heists?
Good point. For the perpetrators, other factors kick in. Psychologists like Zuckerman back in the 70s talk about thrill-seeking behavior.
Meaning they like risk?
They thrive on it. High sensation-seeking traits. Risk, novelty, uncertainty. That's their fuel. The adrenaline rush of pulling off something impossible.
The planning, outsmarting security.
Exactly. The intellectual challenge, the sheer audacity. For some, that might be as big a motivator as the money itself. It's the ultimate high-stakes game.
And then there's that weird thing where society sometimes admires the criminal, the Robin Hood complex.
Ah, the Robin Hood complex. Yeah, it's fascinating. We often find ourselves romanticizing people who beat the system, especially if the target is big and impersonal.
Like a bank or a museum or the government.
Right. We cast them as anti-heroes. There's a vicarious thrill, isn't there? Watching someone defy authority, beat the odds.
Why do you do that? Why root for the thief, even a little bit?
Maybe it's projecting our own desire to break free, to do something extraordinary. See the powerful get taken down a peg. It's complex. Admiration for cleverness, a bit of rebellion.
Which ties into how we build myths around these outlaws, right? Sociologically.
Definitely. Think about Jesse James or Bonnie and Clyde. Societies create folk heroes out of thieves all the time.
How does that happen?
The narratives often strip away the nasty parts, the violence, the victims, and focus on the glamour. The cunning, the defiance, the cool car, the tragic end.
So we build these stories around them.
We do. They become symbols, reflecting our own anxieties or desires for freedom, maybe our frustrations with the system. They're like mirrors for our secret rebellious thoughts.
And the media, especially movies and TV, plays a massive role in that. Glamorizing heists.
Huge role. Think about heist movies. The criminals are often brilliant, charming masterminds. The crimes look clean, almost victimless.
Yeah, you focus on the cool plan, the gadgets, the escape.
Exactly. Not the person who lost their life savings, or the museum that lost an irreplaceable piece of history. Pop culture stylizes it, reinforces admiration over condemnation. It often just ignores the victims and the real costs.
And for the rest of us, this idea of treasure hunting, even just talking about it, becomes a kind of shared escape.
It really does. The fantasy of stumbling onto a lost fortune, that's universal. A shortcut to a different life. No more bills, maybe fame.
Total escapism from the 9 to 5.
Precisely. And when we talk about Captain Kidd's treasure or the Beale Ciphers, it becomes this communal thing. Sharing theories, dreaming together about that big find. It creates this shared excitement, even if it's just talk.
It's wild how these basic human things persist, even now with all our tech. Because you'd think physical heists would be, like, obsolete. But in pop culture? Still huge.
Absolutely thriving. Look at Money Heist on Netflix that was a global sensation. Or think about Ocean's 11, The Italian Job, National Treasure.
Classics. Why do they resonate so much across cultures?
They hit those universal themes we talked about. The thrill, The clever underdog, the fantasy wealth, defying the odds. It's often less about the crime, more about the puzzle, the teamwork, pulling off the impossible.
And it's not just fictional thieves getting the spotlight. You mentioned D.B. Cooper, a real guy, never caught. He has FBI podcasts about him, Netflix docs.
Perfect example. He's become a legend. The mystery, the audacity of jumping out of a plane. He's the ultimate escape artist. The media isn't just reporting a crime, they're exploring a modern myth, feeding that fascination, keeping the riddle alive for new generations.
But okay, real world now. Digital crime is obviously huge. Hacking, crypto theft. That's where the action is mostly.
That's definitely the new frontier, dominating headlines. Cryptocurrency hacks, massive ransomware attacks, online fraud. It's all about virtual cunning now.
New challenges for security, right?
Massive challenges. These crimes are often borderless, invisible, involving complex code. The scale can be unbelievable, billions stolen sometimes.
Yet, people are still breaking into actual vaults. Physical heists haven't totally disappeared.
Not at all. That's what's fascinating. They still happen. Look at the Hatton Garden heist in London, 2015.
Oh yeah, the one with the older guys.
Exactly. Experienced thieves, mostly in their 60s and 70s, disabled alarms, drilled through thick concrete walls, cleaned out hundreds of safe deposit boxes. Millions in jewels, gold, cash.
Old school, in the digital age.
Totally old school. Required immense planning, physical labor. It shows that audacity, that desire for tangible wealth. It doesn't care about age or technology.
And so what does that tell us?
It tells us the fundamentals haven't changed. The planning, the nerve, the drive for gain, that's constant. Whether your tools are drills or digital code, the core motivations are the same.
With all these amazing stories floating around, myths, legends, we really need to try and sort out what's fact and what's fiction, right?
Absolutely crucial. The truth is often way more interesting, or at least more complex, than the popular myths.
Okay, like D.B. Cooper. The common idea is he must have died jumping out of that plane. Plausible.
Very plausible. Jumping at night, in a storm, over rough terrain, with maybe not much experience, it sounds like a death sentence. But there's no body, no definitive trace of him ever found, despite huge searches. So many serious investigators, even retired FBI guys, think he actually survived.
Oh.
Theories abound. Maybe he was experienced ex-military paratrooper. Maybe he got lucky, landed okay, changed his identity, just blended back in, lived a quiet life.
Wow. So the lack of a body keeps the he survived theory alive?
Exactly. It fuels it. It's the ultimate cold case. The
Yeah.
perfect unresolved ending.
Okay, another big myth, pirate treasure, buried chests on desert islands, X marks the spot. Like Treasure Island.
That's the image, isn't it? Pure Treasure Island. And Robert Louis Stevenson's book basically created that popular image.
Just not true.
Mostly not. The reality. Most pirates were about living large right now. They spent their loot fast on booze, parties, gambling as soon as they hit port. Long-term saving wasn't really their style.
So burying treasure was rare.
Extremely rare. Maybe only if they were in immediate danger, needed to ditch the loot quickly and hope to come back. It wasn't standard practice at all. Romantic idea, but mostly fiction.
Okay, let's tackle a sensitive one. Nazi gold. Is that just a myth, a conspiracy theory? Or is it real?
No, it is absolutely not a myth, and that's critical to understand. While maybe a specific story, like the gold train, isn't fully proven, the fact of Nazi looting is undeniable. It's documented history.
How extensive was it?
Vast, systematic, state-sponsored theft. Gold, art, currency, artifacts, personal belongings, stolen from nations, banks, museums, and especially from Jewish individuals and communities across Europe. Horrific scale.
So it wasn't just random soldiers looting.
No, this was organized, meant to fund the war, erase cultures. The gold was real, ended up in vaults, melted down, hidden. The search and restitution efforts are still ongoing today. It's a very real, very tragic part of history.
Beyond myths, there are some just plain weird facts too, like the reward for the Gardner Museum art.
Oh, the Gardner Reward, it's legendary in itself. They offered $10 million.
$10 million.
Yep. For information leading directly to the safe return of all 13 pieces. It's the largest private reward ever offered for stolen property, anywhere.
What does that signal? Just how valuable the art is.
That absolutely,
Yeah.
but also the museum's desperation. The irreplaceable nature of what was lost, the deep cultural wound. It's this constant public plea. Please bring it back. A beacon of hope? Maybe, but also a measure of the ongoing loss.
And back to the Beale Ciphers. You mentioned they might just be a hoax, but people are still trying to crack them after 200 years. Why?
It's baffling, isn't it? The possibility of it being a hoax is very real, debated by experts. The story has all the elements of a tall tale.
Yet people keep trying.
They do. Code breakers, historians, amateurs, they keep plugging away, which tells you something powerful, I think, about the allure of a great puzzle. The human desire to solve a riddle, to crack a code, can be just as strong, maybe stronger, than the desire for the treasure itself, even if it might be fake. The chase, the intellectual challenge, maybe that's the real reward for some people.
Okay, so digging deeper now, beyond just the stories themselves, Love Talk expert insights, alternative theories, things that make you really think differently. What about mainstream views first, like economic historian Dr. Stephen Meem?
Dr. Meem's take is really insightful. He argues heists aren't just about greed. They reflect deeper flaws in systems.
Flaws in what system?
Security systems, obviously, but also justice, finance. When a huge heist happens, it's not just a crime, it's like a stress test, showing where society's structures are weak.
So it exposes vulnerabilities we didn't know were there.
Exactly. It forces us to ask, where did the system fail? Was it bad oversight? Complacency? A security loophole nobody thought of? These crimes can be like diagnostic tools, showing cracks in the foundation. Like Antwerp, it wasn't just clever thieves, it showed a supposedly impenetrable system wasn't.
And Robert Whitman, the FBI art crimes guy, he has a pretty blunt take on art theft, right? Cuts through the romance.
Whitman is fantastic because he lived it. Decades recovering stolen art. And he says flat out, art theft is not about passion, but about power, laundering, and prestige.
So not about loving the art.
Not usually, no. That's the movie version. The reality, stolen art is like high-value currency for criminals. Easy to move, hard to trace, used as collateral in drug deals to launder dirty money.
Power and prestige within the criminal world, then.
Precisely. Owning a stolen Rembrandt isn't about hanging it in your secret lair to admire. It's about the clout, the access, the financial leverage it gives you in that underworld. It's cold, calculated business.
Okay, but then you get these alternative views, often from people really immersed in these mysteries, like treasure hunter John Edwin Noble on Yamashita's gold.
Right, people like Noble, who are out there actually looking, have different perspectives. He suggests maybe treasures like Yamashita's gold aren't just lost.
What does he think happened?
He speculates maybe they're hidden in secure military vaults, or maybe they were found secretly by governments or powerful groups who then covered it up.
Why would they do that?
Who knows? Economic control, political reasons, avoiding messy international claims. It adds this whole other layer. Maybe it's not just lost, maybe it's deliberately kept hidden or was quietly reabsorbed by the powers that be. Makes you wonder who really benefits from it staying lost.
And the Beale Ciphers again. The codebreakers have alternative theories too, that it's not a straightforward map.
Yeah, some cryptanalysts, after hitting dead ends for so long, argue the ciphers might be deliberate misdirection, not meant to lead to gold at all.
Misdirection for what?
Maybe to distract. Or maybe it serves some purpose for a secret society. Like the puzzle itself is the point, not the solution. Or it's a test, an initiation.
Or just a really, really elaborate historical prank.
Could be. It totally changes how you look at it. Not a treasure hunt, but maybe a psychological game, or something serving a hidden agenda we can't even guess at. The treasure might be something else entirely.
All right, let's really zoom in now. Take some of these legendary cases and unpack them a bit more, pulling all these threads together, starting with Isabella Stewart Gardner, a masterpiece of a vanishing act.
It truly is. The sheer audacity is still stunning. Early hours, March 18th, 1990. Two guys dressed as cops. They bluffed their way in.
Just talked the guards into letting them in.
Yep. Said they were responding to a disturbance call. Once inside, they quickly overpowered the two guards, tied them up in the basement.
And then they had the run of the place.
For 81 minutes. Think about that. Over an hour and 20 minutes just wandering through this priceless museum, choosing what to take.
And they took those 13 incredible pieces. The Rembrandt Seascape, the Vermeer.
Works by Degas, Manet, Flink, even an ancient Chinese bronze gu beaker. A real mix, but all masterpieces. Value estimated north of $500 million.
Still the biggest unsolved property crime ever.
By far. And despite everything FBI, global searches, that massive $10 million reward, nothing. Not a single piece has surfaced. The empty frames are still there. It's this profound, baffling silence. Were they incredibly skilled, incredibly lucky? Both. We just don't know.
Okay, next case study. D.B. Cooper, the ultimate escape artist. Feels more like folklore now.
It really does blur the line between crime and legend. November 24th, 1971. Buys a ticket as Dan Cooper. On the flight, calmly passes a note saying he has a bomb.
And lays out his demands. The money, the parachutes.
Precisely. $200,000 cash, 4 parachutes, gets them in Seattle, lets passengers go, keeps the crew, orders the plane back up. Very specific flight instructions: low, slow, gear down.
And then just jumps.
Lowers the aft stairs of the 727, steps out into the night, the storm, the wilderness, with the money, vanishes.
And the investigation.
Massive, right?
Huge. Decades long. Codenamed N. Orjack. Thousands of leads, suspects, nothing concrete. The case is still officially unsolved.
But they found some of the money, didn't they, years later?
That's right. In 1980, almost 10 years later, a kid digging on a sandbar along the Columbia River finds 3 bundles of the ransom money, about $5,800.
Did that help solve it?
Nope. Just deep in the mystery. How did it get there? Did it wash downriver? Did he land near there? Did he lose some? It raised more questions than answers. The planning, the nerve, the disappearance. It's just irresistible as a story. And one more Captain Kidd's treasure, where the myth keeps generating headlines, but reality rarely cooperates.
Kidd is the poster boy for buried pirate treasure, isn't he?
Oh.
Legends put his hoard on Gardiner's Island, or off Madagascar near his ship, the Adventure Galley.
And people have been digging for centuries.
Constantly. Individuals, big expeditions, fueled by that romantic dream. And then in 2015, major excitement.
What happened?
A heavy silver bar, like 110 pounds, was found off Madagascar, near where they thought Kidd's ship wrecked. Headlines everywhere. Kidd's treasure found.
But there's always a but, isn't there?
Always a but. UNESCO experts checked it out. Turns out it wasn't silver, it was mostly lead, and likely from a much later period. Probably just ship ballast.
Ah, so not pirate treasure?
Nope. A perfect example of how badly we want to believe. The allure of discovery is so strong it leads to these false alarms. Highlights the huge gap between the myth we love and the often disappointing reality. But does it stop people dreaming? Not a chance.
Looking at all these stories from different times, different places, it really shows how these ideas are woven into culture globally, doesn't it? But maybe viewed differently.
Oh, absolutely. How societies view stolen goods, especially treasure, varies hugely.
Like, in Western culture, we seem to have this thing for the clever thief, right?
Definitely. Especially in pop culture. The lone genius outsmarting the system. Think Arsène Lupin or Danny Ocean.
And the crimes often seem clean, almost victimless in the movies.
Exactly. The focus is on the clever plan, the cool gadgets, the thrill. It often ignores the real harm done. We romanticize it, maybe because it lets us vicariously rebel without consequences. It's a powerful fantasy, the smart individual beating the big, faceless system.
So other cultures see it very differently, especially with buried treasure or old artifacts.
Hugely different. In many Eastern and indigenous cultures, disturbing old sites or treasure is often linked to bad things.
Yeah.
Curses, upsetting spirits, disrespecting ancestors.
So it's not just about getting rich.
Far from it. There's a deep reverence for the earth, for history, for the sacred. In some Filipino folklore, digging for Yamashita's gold isn't exciting. It's seen as inviting disaster. Many indigenous cultures view ancient sites as sacred ground, period. The value isn't monetary, it's spiritual and historical.
That's a stark contrast to the Western finders, keepers idea sometimes.
Absolutely. It shows a much deeper respect for history, the spiritual world, and the idea that greed has consequences beyond just getting caught. Metaphysical consequences.
And there's a specific, really important perspective from Jewish and Eastern European communities regarding Nazi looting, right? It's about much more than just lost wealth.
Immensely important and deeply tragic. For those communities, Nazi stolen artifacts aren't just valuable objects. They represent stolen identity, stolen history, stolen dignity.
How so?
These items, art, religious objects, family heirlooms, even simple photos, were taken as part of a systematic attempt to wipe out entire cultures, erase people's heritage, their memory, their existence. The theft was an act of cultural annihilation, not just robbery.
So the loss is fundamentally different.
Profoundly different. The trauma transcends money. It's about a loss of self, a break in generational continuity.
Yeah.
Efforts to recover these items aren't just about ownership. They're about reclaiming identity, restoring truth, seeking some measure of justice for unbelievable atrocities.
So looking back at this whole deep dive, ancient history to modern times, it feels like our fascination with all this has two sides to it, doesn't it? There are upsides to being so curious.
I think so, yeah. One big positive is how it sparks interest in history itself. You get drawn into a heist story, and suddenly you're learning about, 18th century shipping, or WWII history, or Renaissance art.
And it makes you think critically, question things.
Definitely. You start questioning official stories, looking at evidence, trying to figure out what really happened, how did the system fail, what motivated the criminals. It's a great way to study things like systems failure, security, criminal psychology.
And maybe even understand ourselves better, our own values.
Exactly. Watching the audacity, society's complicated reactions, tells us a lot about human nature, morality, our ideas about justice. It's a lens on ourselves.
There's a downside too, right? Dangers in being so fascinated, especially when myths take over.
Absolutely. The biggest danger is probably glorifying crime. When pop culture makes thieves look cool, smart, even heroic, it can really blur ethical lines, make serious crime seem like a victimless game.
Which it rarely is.
Almost never. And these myths, while fun, can also spread misinformation. They distract from the real history, the real victims. People obsess over D.B. Cooper theories and forget the fear he caused, the cost of the investigation.
And sometimes the fascination leads to actual harm, like illegal digging.
That's a huge problem. Romanticized treasure hunting can lead people to illegally excavate sites, destroying vital historical context, damaging artifacts forever. They think they're Indiana Jones, but they're actually destroying history in their quest for gold. So, yeah, discernment is key when we get lost in these stories. We need to engage ethically. #tag half outro.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. Millennia of ambition, nerve, greed. From Tomb Raiders way back when to the slick digital deceptions of today.
We really have. Explored the timeline, but also tried to get at the why, the psychology, the cultural stories that keep these tales of lost fortunes alive.
It seems like these stories are just hardwired into us somehow. The outlaw, the hidden wealth, the chase.
They are. From D.B. Cooper's jump into nothingness to the empty frames of the Gardner, these mysteries stick with us because they push boundaries, don't they? Between legal and illegal, history and myth, wealth and right and wrong.
So maybe the final thought is, what is our obsession with all this lost stuff? Treasure, people, art, what does it say about us right now? Are we looking for something? An escape? A grand adventure?
That's the question to ponder, isn't it? As long as there are secrets out there, unanswered riddles, locked rooms, hidden vaults will keep chasing shadows, some searching for truth, trying to piece together the past.
And others?
Others will just be chasing the gold.